Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome to another Malwarebytes Live. And today we're live from Stockholm, Sweden, from the Azire office. I'm here with two amazing people again. Normally you see, well, you don't see Darta behind the scenes, but today she's on live with me. And we have Georgek also from Azire. Thank you. I was going to say thank you for coming, but this is your office, so it doesn't make any sense. Today we're going to talk about VPN. If you have any questions during the live stream, just pop them into the comments. Like we can either, if we get to it, we can answer them at the end, or else we can discuss them in the next one, or we discuss them in the comments themselves. Thank you very much. First of all, why are we here in Stockholm?
Well, first of all, thank you for coming here. Yeah, I agree. It's a lot of fun to do these things like actually live, yeah. Because we do so many like Zoom type of like live streams where it's like, and it's very obvious because like we have people around the whole world. So yeah, it just so happens. So thank you so much for coming to our Stockholm office. So this is a new office space for us as well. So AzireVPN used to have another office in a different place in Stockholm, and now we have moved to a new office space. And to answer your question of what we are doing here today, so we thought that we would basically chat a little bit and introduce basically people to our VPN. And we thought that we would cover some of the basics of, first of all, like what VPN even is, why do you need to use it, in what instances it's helpful, and maybe also like in what cases it doesn't help. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Thank you very much. And we had like a really, because we're in the office, because we can have like a proper peek behind the scenes today, which we have done earlier. We've recorded it for you. So yeah, we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about VPN, about AzireVPN, like how does AzireVPN tie in with Malwarebytes? Because a lot of people might not know this. What is AzireVPN and why is it so connected with Malwarebytes?
Yeah, so AzireVPN is a VPN company based in Stockholm, Sweden. So it was established 2014, yeah. And we're privacy focused, so we made sure that everything is owned by us, it's privacy focused, no logs and so on. And Malwarebytes took notice of this and essentially said this is great. So now we're collaborating, and we got acquired by Malwarebytes.
Yeah, exactly. That's like in short, that's the story of like how we ended up here. And like I personally have been part of AzireVPN for 2 years, a little bit more now. So it has been a very exciting journey to see how like AzireVPN, being like a very privacy-focused VPN, how we have grown and like basically the scale, because during my time with the company, we have basically doubled the number of servers that we have, like different locations around the world. We have reached like so many like very significant milestones. Like one of them, of course, is like acquisition by Malwarebytes, but also like the number of servers. We have done like a third-party audit, which like we have the results, which are also it's just a very exciting step for a VPN company to see like all of that like come together. So yeah.
And the audit we'll have a little bit of a chat about later, because it's quite technical and quite in depth. We might have a follow-up discussion about that, where we go a little bit more in depth in what the audit is. And if you're interested in a follow-up, please let us know in the comments so we know for the next time. And so you were talking about, we're very privacy focused. What does that mean? Like you were saying something like we own our own servers. What does that mean? And what does that mean for our customers, for instance?
So it essentially means that no one else has access to our servers, the software or the hardware that we use. We own everything. we make sure that everything from start to finish is as we wanted. And of course, to make sure it's all secure as well, and it's all focused around our own philosophy and the blind operator that we have. And it's all also running on bare metal, so there's no VMs or anything shady like that.
What's a VM? Sorry?
Virtual machine.
Yeah.
So we're not splitting up each server into multiple locations. For each server, it's one location. So otherwise, we have multiple servers, for example, on one location. That's to expand rather than to pretend that we have multiple with only one machine, which is fairly common. Some providers out there do that.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think like the things, like some of the privacy features that we have, like that AzireVPN has, and now Malwarebytes VPN also has, like a lot of them are very unique in the market. Like for example, the thing that you mentioned about like owning the servers, like we believe there's no other commercial VPN provider out there who really does that to the extent that we do it. Like we have basically 100% of our like server hardware, including like all the switches and all the things. It has actually traveled through AzireVPN office. Like we have prepped them and we have shipped them away. I think like one interesting thing for the viewers could be like we have a video here on YouTube on the AzireVPN channel that basically guides you through the journey of AzireVPN servers. So we see like all the behind the scenes of how the servers that we receive here, like how we prep them, how we actually like open them up, all the things that we do, the blind operator, the like no RAM, like basically operating memory and things like that. So all those things like we actually show, which is like it kind of like ties into like that's the second point on the privacy, that like there's almost no VPN company out there that does that to such extent, which I feel like it's such a privilege to keep doing that, because I feel like for larger VPN companies that want to grow very quickly and have like tons of servers around the world, like it would be very hard to do that if like it's very hard to do that if you have if you don't do, for example, virtual servers that you actually like ship everything everywhere. So I think like it's great that we get to continue these traditions also like as part of like Malwarebytes. So yeah, and another like maybe fun little aspect of the like speaking of the privacy of the servers is that we put glue or silicone in the server parts. Maybe you can like talk a little bit more about why do we do that?
This was more of a tradition initially, and then we took it as an actual like, okay, this is a security concern. We have to make sure that if something were to happen during transit or actually on the hosting provider's own location, someone tries to do something. Of course, everything is disabled, and we also have detection on the servers as well, in case someone tries something. But we also were like, okay, we now we used epoxy. Before we used to use glue and silicone mixture. So now we apply epoxy on the ports we don't use, and actually inside the servers as well.
Can you tell me a little bit, you were talking about blind operator. What does that mean, and what does that mean for like privacy and stuff? So blind operator is essentially the way we have built the whole infrastructure and the servers themselves. So this essentially means that we and no one else for that matter, even if you have physical access to the servers, have any sort of access to logs, information. If you were trying to dump memory, for example, for peripherals and what else. So it's a way for us to make sure that we don't actually have access to the servers ourselves. Nothing on them are stored or saved as well, and no one else can do it either. So this is including different methods to like communicate over the internet or something. So SSH, for example, which is like a secure way to communicate with hardware on a distance. So that's what blind operator is. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's basically to say that like, there is absolutely no way that we can log any data on any of our like servers, because I think like when it comes to VPN, like there's a few reasons why people use VPNs and why you should use and consider using a VPN, and like privacy is one of the most important aspects of that, like at least in our opinion. So like it's one of the things that like if you choose a VPN, you should choose a good VPN, otherwise you're kind of like, it defeats the purpose of using it for privacy. So yeah, it's basically saying that we don't log, and we couldn't log and we couldn't see what you're doing on the internet, even if we wanted to. Even us as like the Malwarebytes or AzireVPN employees, like that's just physically not possible. Which is also, it's very interesting to see how like all that setup is made, and like, a lot of interesting details behind the scenes of AzireVPN. Wow.
I thought it was very, because like many things in the technology world, VPN is such an abstract thing, right? Like, what is it? Like, we talk about like secure tunnels and all that stuff, and like, oh, I want to watch Netflix in a different country, so like I'm going to use a VPN. So we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, like, in short, what is a VPN, and why it can be used, and why should you use it? Who wants to share a little bit about that? I can start for sure, because I think like it's interesting how I think like before I started working for AzireVPN and for Malwarebytes, like I had like the main reasons why I used VPN was like, first of all, my office, like my previous company had the VPN, and that is like you use it basically to work on the same network as your company works, and you can use that, for example, if you have international employees, but also locally it's like great for security. And then the other aspect is, like, as you mentioned, like the content part of it, because like I feel like as all of us are based in Europe, there's like, for example, American TV shows that you might want to watch and you cannot watch them locally because they are not available in the region. So you can basically use VPN to use the internet as if you were physically located in that location. So at AzireVPN we have, for example, we have more than 60 locations around the world. So if you want, you can try out and you can see what you can watch on different platforms. I think that's also a very interesting aspect of it. And I think in general, I see that there's like something with the... Okay. Mm-hmm. For somebody who's watching on YouTube, we have a little bit of an issue. We're just going to have a quick look if we can. Don't worry, if there is something missing, we will make sure that it will be back on. But for now, like Facebook seems to be working. So if you have Facebook, there we are.
Oh,
all right.
Great.
Yeah.
That was very quick. I don't know what happened, but we are back.
It might have been a delay.
Scroll back. And
thank you, Ross. It's we should be on right now. Don't worry, we will make sure that everything will be recorded and will be on there.
Yes.
Everything's on Facebook anyway. Sorry for interrupting you, but like
no worries. Technical difficulties and these types of things happen all the time. Like that's definitely the thing that happens. I think it was just a delay that we didn't see that it's happening, but we actually are live. So hopefully everybody can see us and hear us. And sorry about that.
We're live.
We're live. Exactly, those things happen. But coming back to the topic of VPN, I think like first of all, what does VPN stand for? It's virtual private network. So virtual private network, it means that like when you're using your internet, you might have, like your internet service provider that like you connect to your Wi-Fi either at home or wherever you are. And this traffic can potentially be monitored by like whoever is the internet service provider. So it depends. It's a little bit different in different countries. But the VPN is a service that essentially encrypts your connection to the internet, so nobody can see or track like what you are, like when you're connected, for example, they cannot see the actual data. So it's I think like the most important aspect in this is the privacy. So it's something that's like, it's just a good sense to use VPN, especially when you're traveling, when you're connecting to unsecured like Wi-Fi's in places like, like airports or cafes or hotels, etc. Like that is a very common scenario. But also from home, because like there's a lot of countries, including the US, that has a lot of like different type of like laws that actually permit internet service providers to use this data to basically to even sell it to other third parties and companies. So this is just something that to watch out for, that like if you use the internet, like you should be aware that might happen, and if you don't want that to happen, then I think it's like one of the best advices is just to turn on VPN and connect to the closest location where you are geographically, because that will give you the best speed of the internet, and just keep that on at all times. I think like that would be my my understanding of this. But maybe you can add a little bit to that.
No, you're describing it perfectly, I would say. Like it's so important, because it's essentially ISPs are getting kind of ridiculous in some of the stuff they're doing, especially in different parts of the world right now. And at the same time, you also want to make sure that whatever you're doing is up to you to decide what's going on. So it's not up to them or anyone else, it's up to you. And this adds another layer, right? But at the same time, there are some misconceptions about VPN as well. So you have to be careful. This is additional security, but this is not total security, right? So you're not in a bubble in a way where it's like you're anonymous, you can do whatever. Because multiple websites, especially if you're a big provider, like network provider, so Google, for example, or someone else, they have multi-page or multi-website tracking with cookies, stuff like that, or even if you're logged in based on accounts, right? So if you have an account on your phone, for example, if it's an Apple device or an Android device, they actually go they make sure through those devices as well that if you're somewhere else and they somewhat suspect that it's you as well, because sometimes they check through traffic beforehand as well, and they do targeted ads and stuff like that. So it's important to note, like, it's good. It gives you a different, we sort of say, tunnel output. Like it puts you in a different location, and it protects you against certain attacks locally, and from your ISP, or if it's like an open Wi-Fi, hotels, airport, etc.
Surveillance, things
surveillance.
like that.
That's a big one as well.
Yeah, for sure. And it's part of the, I would say, the holistic protection that you should think about. Like it's VPN is like, it's a big, basically, cornerstone of that. Like what you should think about when we think about like online privacy, online security, and basics. But it is a very, very basic step. So I think like that's always a good thing to remember.
Yeah, I think that's and like we always, and this is something that we talk about a lot as well. Like we're always kind of like trying to balance between not fear mongering, but telling people like that these are real threats, and like what comes with that is like, how can we protect ourselves, and like a very basic level. So like you're a software engineer, we try to make sure that our products are very easy to use, because like this whole cybersecurity and privacy realm is so broad and so big, like even for us, like, and we work in the field, right? So we try to make it as straightforward as possible. And like one of the cool things that we can release a little bit about right now is that we have a little bit of a, what do they call them? I don't know what they call them, but a little bit of news. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? What we can?
Yeah, we can tease it at least.
Tease it.
Yes. If that was the word that you were looking for.
First language.
Yeah. I mean, it's not for any of us, so that's But so basically, we have a little bit of good news coming for the VPN users, that we're soon launching a free tier of VPN. So that is coming soon. We'll have it launched for Android first in June, and then it's later coming for Windows in July, I believe. So people will have a chance to try Malwarebytes VPN completely for free. There will be some limitations, but it's basically a good way to get like the flavor of like what it is, how the product works, connect to different locations, and see how you like it.
Brilliant, very exciting.
Yeah.
We've been working on this for a while.
Exactly.
Where we are right now. So we are in the Stockholm office, which is not only an office, but also a bit of a data center, isn't it? The cool thing is that, and this is something that you rarely get to do because, data centers are never based in offices or never owned by the company that are running them. So we have a little bit of a behind the scenes video of what it actually means, like what is VPN and where is it located and what happens when, for instance, the electricity goes off. That's another one that we don't really know about. So we have a little bit of a video. Now the first video that we have is, there's not a lot of sound, but we're gonna play you another video in a minute, and I'll tell you the sounds go a little bit. You can turn your sound out, but for now, we have a little bit of a video. Is it running already?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Great.
Yeah, we have the video playing on the background already. And I hope this is interesting for people because I think this is one of those things, like before I worked at a VPN company, like VPN is such an abstract term, and like you don't have any sort of like physical concept of like what it is. So it was very interesting, at least for me, to see like the behind the scenes of like, where does your VPN live? Like what does it mean that you have servers in different locations? And like, in our case, we actually physically have the servers in like located around the world. So we have a lot of like 60 plus global locations, and all of them are like our own like bare metal servers. But here in Stockholm, we have the unique chance of like actually also having the access to the data center where the servers are located. So if you connect to the to Stockholm location, so these are the actual servers that you're connecting to. So maybe you want to comment a little bit about like what else are we seeing in these shots, like because we have like a few like different types of things here. So go ahead.
Oh, I'm gonna try to narrate as well while I'm doing it. But
in your best David Attenborough voice.
So right now we're looking at the rack. It's sort of a cabinet for our hardware. Let's switch pretty quickly. This is the diesel generators. So of course everything runs on electricity in a data center. So sometimes if a local power plant or station goes down, we have to make sure that everything is still up and running. So we have diesel generators, motors essentially, that are able to run for up to 2 weeks. Hopefully that in that time span everything works out.
They're massive.
Yes, they're
so
very big. We have multiple ones. Of course, these take a bit of time to go up. So we also have batteries here, as you can see, that will take over immediately if something were to go wrong. And they take over, and as the generators go up and everything, while they're up and running, the batteries will shut down, and it will be running on the motors instead. So, as everything else, here's another shot. So we have 2 power sources essentially for each rack or cabinet. And this is for redundancy, of course. If in case one of the sources goes down for whatever reason, the other one is able to pick it up. So that's essentially what happens in data center, especially if you want to make sure that everything is has an uptime of 100%.
Yeah, and I think to me, at least, it was insane to see just like the size of the whole thing and the rooms and the batteries and the generators, because it's like you never really think about those things, like what goes on behind the scenes, and like I think it's interesting because not a lot of companies do that. Like not a lot of companies would go and show you all the basically hardware and the things that go on behind the scenes. And I feel like I'm very proud to work at Malwarebytes and AzireVPN for that reason, because like I feel like this level of transparency and trust, because we're asking people to trust our VPN and trust with their privacy. So I feel like this is our way of like giving back and like showing that, hey, this is how we are set up. This is the hardware, the software that we have. Like we are very, very transparent. I believe we're like one of the most transparent like VPN companies out there, because you don't really see things like pictures or videos from server rooms, and that's why I feel like I haven't seen those, because they just nobody does that. So I feel like that's very exciting to be able to see these types of things. But yeah, you mentioned a little bit about the sound, and one of the reasons why we're like not located, like why we're not physically sitting like behind the wall, behind two walls, we have the server room. So one of the reasons is this insane level of audio.
So lower your volume if you want to.
You might want to lower.
We won't talk anymore.
We will try not to talk in this moment. So yeah, this is very, very loud, and people probably can hear me now.
You won't talk.
Yeah, so that was a little sneak preview of the level of sound that you have from the buzzing from all the servers that are working at the same time. Yeah,
it's loud. And what I love about this, and I just wrote it down, like, is that being here, you're so close to the actual product, right? Like I said earlier, a VPN or cybersecurity in general is such an abstract thing, and the thing that I wrote down, it's like farm to table, this, right? You know, you have literally have your servers there, and we're connected to the VPN, so it's literally in there, and I love walking around here, and it's so big as well. Like, I think if we didn't have Georgek with us, like, me and Darta would have definitely
100%.
ways, because we just sometimes wandered off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I did get lost at some point. I definitely did, because it's very interesting how it's all set up. There's several rooms, like and I think also like one thing that I wanted to touch on is the level of security of these types of data centers, because this is highly, highly unusual to be able to just go in and film and show these things to you. And this is thanks to the fact that like we are partly like we own the space, so we're able to go and actually show. Because normally data centers are these places that have like such high levels of security. And I would say I invite people to go to the AzireVPN YouTube channel, and we have another video that is behind the scenes of our servers in London, where you can actually see how we took a trip, both like Georgek and me and some other teammates. We went to London to basically swap out some of the servers that we have there, like physically, and we went in like one of those like super large data centers, and the security there is just insane. Like they did not allow us to film anything. Like we tried our best to basically document this whole process, but we had to like they did like fingerprint scanning. They did like there's like double revolving doors like in movies. You know, you go through several levels, both downstairs and upstairs, and then like you go up to the room, and like you always have like somebody with you there, and like it's just insane the levels of security that happen there, and for a good reason. Like that's how it really should be, because we are talking about like critical communications. Like that is like the server needs to be up the whole time to ensure like smooth connections for people. So yeah, that's very interesting, I would say.
It definitely is, like, and it's just so interesting that because you were saying this, like, you know, you had to authorize, like, you know, request it like months before, and still, like, at the end there were still issues and stuff, and to be able to now, like I said, like Darta says, like nobody can walk into these rooms. We had all the all powerful Georgek with us.
Well, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
The man with the keys.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting to be here and to experience this. We wanted to talk a little bit about the audit, right? If you want to know a little bit more about what we did, there's a blog on our website. about the audit. Can you tell us in a little bit in like layman's terms, like what was the audit and why did we do it, and what does it mean for people who are watching, and because everyone is of course watching, all millions of people, our customers are watching. What does it mean for them? Like.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it's interesting because like that's one of those things. Again, you don't really think about things like audits as like important to you as customer maybe, but they should be when we're talking about such a like high level trust product as VPN. Yeah. Because all of the things that we do, like we claim that we are like very private, that we don't log anything, we don't have the hard drives. We've been trying to prove that with like basically not having, like basically showing the photos and the videos and guiding people through, but it's just the company saying it. It's just our word that you have to trust. And the thing that's in the VPN world, like when choosing a VPN, like it's one of the biggest like guarantees of the privacy. The VPNs that actually have somebody from the outside who has come in, looked at your servers, tried to break in them, like hack into them, and really tested the claims that you make. Because it's one thing if you say that you are very private and you don't do any logs, but if an outside company comes in, that's a whole nother story. So last year we had the chance to finally audit AzireVPN and all of the infrastructure that's Malwarebytes VPN, and AzireVPN shares the hardware and the server-side software. So we had the chance to do the process of the audit, which is it's a quite time-consuming, resource-consuming, expensive process. That is like it's not something that any company can afford. And like for AzireVPN, it was a huge milestone for us to be able to do the audit. So we're very happy to have that done and have those results, basically to have expert eyes on our whole like systems, and we basically had our no logs policy verified by a third party. So I think it's a major milestone, and it's something that consumers should definitely be looking at when they choose a VPN and choose a good VPN. That's like one of those basically guarantees that we actually do what we say that we do. Yeah. Maybe you have some things, like you were definitely part of the auditing process a bit more. Yeah.
So, like Darta said, like we shared our infrastructure, we shared the code, the source code, the hardware. We sent copies of the hardware, like everything we had. So it's the same as we send out to every other location. Yeah. And they went through all of it, and it's available, right? The whole audit is available. So we're not even trying to hide it or anything. For us, especially the Azire team, this is a huge boon. Like it's a way to see like, okay, have we missed something? Is something gone? For example, if hardware-wise, like sometimes you sort of have to trust your provider. Like, is this hardware okay? Yeah. Is the manufacturer actually telling truth? Like, is it true or not? And like it's up there. We have gotten notes like essentially saying like, okay, this could happen. This cannot happen as well. And for us, it's just it's a good way for us to be okay. We know this now. We're gonna go through this. We're gonna fix. We're gonna fix it. And we're gonna make sure like it's actually in a way. Sort of forcing yourself to a higher standard, but we want to do that. That's like a thing. We want to do that because at the same time, the whole brand and everything else around it is like, if you respect it, it's sort of a thing you want to lift up as well. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, so we're very happy to like that we did it, and that we're sharing with everyone as well what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. And we have, as you mentioned, like we have all of our like audit results available. We are, we have shared them both on like on Malwarebytes website and on AzireVPN website, because again, we believe in transparency. So like if you want to check out those results, you're also very welcome to go and look through the reports. And we have like many of the issues that we had, we have already fixed. We're working on fixing the remaining ones. So it's definitely a major milestone that we had.
I think, and I wrote this down earlier, like inviting scrutiny. It's also one of my favorite words. Scrutiny you know, it can be very scary, I'd say, like, even though, you know, you are behind your product, you know what it is. Was it a very stressful time, Georgek, or were you like, we've got this, like, and how long did it take, actually?
It took quite a while, like a few months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there was some back and forth when it came to the hardware stuff, because sometimes it wouldn't work. Just because our system would say like this is outside, like actually secured location, so we were forced to make sure that everything loaded properly on the servers themselves at the guy, like the security company's location. So that's another thing as well. No, we were obviously hoping for no major issues.
Yeah.
But like I said earlier, like allowing yourself scrutiny is part of the process.
Yeah.
And we're okay with that, and we're gonna improve everything as well. So it's just nice.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. We are, I think, at the end of our chat, I think. If you want to have a little bit more of an in-depth idea of what the audit is, first of all, go to our blog. But we were talking about this earlier. If somebody is interested in having a little bit of more of a deep dive into the audit, the findings, how it works, we'd love to do a follow-up, a little bit more, maybe a little bit more technical and a little bit more in-depth. But if you're interested in it, please let us know, and please let us know also your questions, your feedback on the VPN, and sorry, I'm distracted. And also we'd also love some feedback on these sessions, because like we love doing them and we love talking about cybersecurity in like a more human way, because we know it can be very overwhelming. So I want to thank you both. Again, I was going to say thank you both for coming, but thank me for coming.
Thank you.
And we'll be back, I think, next week when me and David talk about Scam Survivor Day, which is on Thursday. And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.